Shalom, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the nation of Israel, better known as the Great Millstone. Shalom, salutations and blessings to the elect, the 1/3, the 144, and death to 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and North American Indians, who are Israelites, whether you acknowledge it or or don't, doesn't matter. These things are going to come, and you are who you are. You can't hide from your identity. This is Mark 13 and 5. And Yahushua answering them began to say, Take heed lest any man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed, and shall deceive many. And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be earthquakes in divers places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows. But take heed to yourselves, for they shall deliver you up to councils, and in the synagogues ye shall be beaten, and ye shall be brought before rulers and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them. And the gospel must first be published among all nations. But when they shall lead you and deliver you up, take no thought beforehand what ye shall speak, neither do ye premeditate. But whatsoever shall be given you in that hour, that speak ye. For it is not ye that speak, but the Holy Spirit. So, Yahushua gave the disciples instructions that deception was going to be played as part of the last days. That's a play move that we have to sift through, as deception. And deception is going to come from, well, a liar, a deceiver, from men. Okay, so the first, you'll notice first, you have the nation of the wicked, and then you have, people who are wicked. So first and foremost, the so-called white man is going to do all kinds of things to deceive you and lie to you. And you've seen that since his inception in the Western Hemisphere. The way he's conquered everyone with religion, politics, civilization, whatever you want to throw in there. Okay, he's constantly lied about everything that he's done, and he won't acknowledge it, and he'll continue to say that it's good, and he's no criminal. And in verse 6, here's an example. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. And one of the first persons to do that was with the white image, the Rodrigo and Caesar Borgia. Okay. That image of a white savior, was pretty much one of the first, that we have as a strong, I would say it's the first strong example for someone trying to pose as Yahweh Shai. And it's been lasting for these hundreds of years. But as we see, it's coming down. But before we were awoken up unto the truth, that was still a strong deception. Okay, so when you will hear of wars and rumors of wars, you shouldn't be troubled by it, because these things need to be, these things must happen. And also remember that of these wars and rumors of wars, the end shall not be yet, because there's bigger things that have to take place besides, this country beefing with that country, and this Navy and that, and Air Force this and Air Force that, and skirmish this and skirmish that. That's all, yeah, it's good. We watch. I'm not downplaying any of that. I'm just saying here Yahweh Shai saying, look, there's more to come, so don't lose your footing and your grounding on this fight and this walk that you have to perform. Don't let those things think that you can lighten up your grip on your reins. Okay. It says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be earthquakes in diverse places, and there will be famines and troubles. But these, we understand, is just the beginning of the sorrows. It's like the birthing pains. When a woman's going into labor and she gets those pains that hunch her over to where she's, gripping a wall or just gripping her belly. That's just the beginning. Like, we've seen nothing yet. So this is all things that must be, but the end has not come yet. The end won't come until those missiles come, until all are sealed, until that mark of the beast is actually in full swing. Okay, these are the things that must come to pass also. Say so. Take heed, because the day and time will come, and it happened with the disciples. They were delivered up unto councils and synagogues, and who was in the synagogues? Jake. In their time, it was their own people that were taking them up and beating them, and it happened in the book of Romans. They took him and they beat him and they said, "Don't teach in this name." And then one guy made the comment, "If this counsel or this work be of men, it'll come to naught. But if it is of the Most High, like, you can't overthrow it, you know." So that happened to them. It'll happen surely to us. And he shall be brought before rulers and kings for his sake, for a testimony against them. And that's exactly what happened with Stephen when they killed Stephen. That's the thing about being an actual disciple, a man of the Lord, a servant of Yahweh Shai. You are going to be attacked. You're going to physically be attacked, and you're going to be. It says it doesn't say you're going to get in a fight and you're going to come out on top. It doesn't say that. It says you shall be beaten in the synagogues. Your own people are going to come attack you. And this is why reading comprehension is important, because a lot of people will read scriptures and not understand and not compute really the reality behind what they're saying. Because people have been watching movies for far too long. They've been watching cartoons for far too long that reality doesn't affect them. They see way too many people on social media and they think they can act the same way. And you have a lot of these people that are influenced by these so-called influencers and this over posting of things that happen in the world. And so you'll get videos of people that think they can do certain things, and these are those videos where you see people getting run over, chopped up or whatever, and you just laugh at it. You're like, damn, these people have no experience. They think that life is a game. Okay, and the reason why we're going to be brought before these people is for you sticking, as the phrase is coined, sticking to the scriptures. Okay, people are going to want answers, and really what it's going to be is a testimony for them, a testimony against them. Okay, I know, like back when Alizé had his little hitman come to sucker punch me, I already knew, I felt it through the spirit, and that's why I condemned them, because he came up talking about a hip hop video. So look, the Lord isn't with none of that stuff. Okay, you want to stay in that life cycle and this and that, the Lord, he's going to destroy you. And one of the things he's going to use, I went right into the mark of the beast. I went right into that chip for a testimony against them. And that was all through the spirit. That was all through the spirit. So those heads are marked. Those heads, that blood is on all those guys. So hey, I hope and pray for that day that I can look down and see Alizé getting it from a chariot. I want to see, I hope him and his whole crew just, that blood gets, you know, revenged upon them. That's a motivator. You got to have motivators in this truth. Verse 10, and the gospel must first be published among all nations. So it said all nations. And why is that? Because Israel's scattered amongst all nations. Peter had a hard time kind of getting over that hump. And you got guys like when we go teach and they say, well, how come you're not out over here where all Jake's at? And we'll be somewhere where it's more multicultural, you could say. And it's funny that they say that because it's like, well, you're here, you stopped here. Why aren't you where all the niggas is at? Where all the spics is at? Where all the natives are at? Why are you here? So you can be here unseen by us, but we can't be here seen by you? Doesn't make sense. Those double standards. Jake loves double standards, but they can't apply to him. Anyway, verse 11. But when they shall lead you and deliver you up, take no thought beforehand what ye shall speak, neither do ye premeditate. But whatsoever shall be given you in that hour, that speak ye, for it is not you that speak, but the Holy Spirit. So that's what all this rehearsal is for. You learning and reading and watching. You socializing with the Akim and watching and observing how your leader thinks, how the second in command operates, how this brother moves about when you're maybe you go hang out in society, or maybe you're just at the house and the brother's sharing some personal information or something, and showing you how just he operates. Anything from the way he has his house in order, any degree of that. This is all training for the time when you're going to be given a place and you're not going to have to premeditate on something, because you're going to have all this experience bound up in you. And the Spirit itself is just going to guide your words. It's building you up, stirring up your pure minds now by way of remembrance, so that when that time comes, you can free fall in the Spirit and land safely. Verse 12, and I think I'll stop maybe there at 13. Now the brother shall betray the brother to death, and the father the son, and children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. And a lot of these people will see just how quickly they'll turn on each other. You see these social media, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, whatever the hell they got out there, how everyone looks all lovey-dovey, but when shit hits the fan and that switch flips, these guys are going to be killing each other. Children are going to be giving up their parents just, to eat Fruity Pebbles or watch cartoons. So families will be divided. There's no use in sticking around with your family if they don't get this, man. Move on. This is America, the land of so-called opportunity, is it not? You know how easy it is to build up in this system? If you're doing the right thing in the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, there's no reason why you can't come into ownership of enough things to be content with: food, raiment, and clothing. And I've always put it out there, but I'll put it out there again. If brothers need help, I'm not licensed to give out legal advice, but I can show you some tips and some tricks that are 100% legal to help you, get your situation better. It's not going to be overnight. It's going to take a discipline. It's going to take about, a couple months to a year. But within that time, and by the end of it, you're good. You'll be able to stand on your own feet. And I'm saying that from experience. Brothers that know us in this camp, we always lived together. Now we all live separately. Living together with brothers is fun, man. It is. You get to know each other. That's the spiritual boot camp. That's a spiritual boot camp. You get to see the type of people, how people are, how they react to correction and just conversation and things. You know, as long as you don't turn it into a party house, you'll be good, and you're gonna move through those motions. Some brothers always kind of wanting to party and drink all the time, and you know, but that's where you guys get to shine amongst each other and be examples one for another. Or you'll see one brother go on a no drinking fast. You'll see one brother go on a no meat fast. You'll see a brother go on, an all smoothie fast or all liquid fast. You'll see these things, and if you're open and receptive, you're gonna gain a lot. So that's those are useful times to live in. Okay, verse 13, and he shall be hated for all men for my name's sake, but he that endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And that's really the point. I'm gonna stop there. That's the point. Enduring unto the end. All this you're doing, rehearsing the righteous acts for a final game day, a final moment where what is it that you're gonna do? And now, if you've seen Endgame, this is a spoiler alert. If you haven't, there was only one possible outcome in which they could beat Thanos, which the Greek word for death is thanatos. I thought that was interesting. Brother had a homework assignment, and I looked up the word death on his assignment, and it was thanatos, and it reminded me of Thanos. And what was he? He brought death. He decimated half of the whole entire population of existence. But the one thing that was going to save them was if Tony Stark made his sacrifice. But he asked Doctor Strange. He said, I thought you said there was an outcome. Like, what is it? And Doctor Strange told him, he said, if I tell you, it won't happen, because it required Tony Stark to die, to give up his life. And if in the movie it sets you up to where it's like, if he would have known that killing Thanos was going to cost him his life, it was set up to where you wouldn't think he would do it, because he had a little girl that he loved his daughter so much. He wouldn't have wanted to leave her alone in the world, is the sentiment that you kind of get. But then at the same time, you could think that, okay, well, such a man would gladly give up his life that his daughter could have peace. So enduring unto the end. Said all that basically just to make the point that you know our paths are hid, but we're going to see if all this rehearsal is actually going to pay off for our last moment, our game day. And a lot of these guys who act this part and try to act this certain way, we're gonna see them, Lord willing, crumble, man. I'm talking about those who are without humility and without honor, without discipline, and without shame. Like, they're wicked. I want, that's a personal preference for a prize. I want to see wicked people crumble. And I don't care if it's a two-third. I don't care if it's an Israelite. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is coming back for the elect of their nation, not just the run-of-the-mill, mediocre Israelite. To hell with them. They've had their chance. They've said, let their blood be upon them and their children, so what the hell are you sorry for? Neither lift up cry nor make intercession or prayer for these people. What the hell are you sorry for? To hell with them. That's my auntie. Who gives a shit? Bitch is gonna die. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua willing. We're a part of the elect. To hell with these other people, man. This is a mindset you gotta keep. And you keep it in balance too. Because when you're teaching, you don't know the possible fruit that could come from a good conversation. You don't always have to be so combative. And look, people aren't. They're not going to get it. Why do you speak to them in parables? You can talk to them. They don't have to receive it. You don't got to waste your energy getting upset. The longer you do this, you learn to rule your spirit better and better. Anyway, hopefully this was edifying, you know, declarative, informative, a bit entertaining, informational. Hopefully something can be pulled apart for you and taken and put into your bag. Shalom.